Hello my dear students, welcome back. So in previous class you have learnt 1 by r is equal to ne square a tau by m. Correct? See here, I can write this one as inverted one. R is equal to ml by n e square a tau. Correct? Now look here. Resistance of the conductor depends upon the length and area. So, see, mass is constant, n is constant, e is constant, tau is constant. So, can I write rho is equal to m by n e square tau? This implies R is equal to rho L by A, where rho is nothing but, since rho is equal to m by ne square tau by m, so therefore again we came to this concept, or else I can write 1 by sigma is equal to m by ne square tau. Correct? Or sigma is equal to ne square tau by m. So, again you came back to this formula which you have already derived. Understood? Shall I move further? Next. See here, resistance, SI unit is ohm. R is equal to 1 by G. Do you know what is G? G is nothing but conductance. G is nothing but conductance. And its SI unit is mho. M-H-O. Mho. Understood? Resistance is a reciprocal of conductance. Conductance is, SI unit of conductance is mho. Resistance is opposition offered for the flow of charges. This is nothing but invert of that. This is not opposition. How much it allows the current to flow is nothing but conductance. Then, limitation of Ohm's law. What are the limitations of Ohm's law? See, when we stated the Ohm's law, what does Ohm's law states? Ohm's law states that current through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference across the ends of the conductor, provided temperature and other conditions physical conditions must be kept constant. So, there is a condition that temperature and other physical conditions should be kept constant. So, if you vary the temperature and physical conditions, this Ohm's law will not hold good. Correct? So, this is one limitation. So, what is one of the limitations? The materials or the devices which obeys Ohm's law should follow the relation. That is, first limitation is the graph what we get should be linear, and to get that temperature should be kept constant. If the temperature and physical conditions is not kept constant, then I is not proportional to V. Second limitation. This will hold good for the metallic conductors at a moderate temperature. It is not suitable for the metals also, even at high temperature or very low temperature. So, this holds good for metals. Only at moderate temperature. Not suitable for very high or very low temperature. Okay? One more. Third one, what I want to say is, for the semiconductors, what happens is, for semiconductors or discharge tubes and all, the graph, if we plot, again this one experiment is there in your lab. When you come, you will have to perform an experiment. So if you plot the graph I versus V, in the forward direction of the current, the graph will be okay, almost linear kind graph we'll get, even though it is not completely linear. But if we give the same current in the opposite direction, that is here also if you give the same current in the reverse direction, but then graph will be not as same as same as this curve, we'll get the graph like this. Change in the graph. This same curve will not repeat here. There will be a changes. So for that, what we say is, the second limitation is, for some materials, relation between V and I depends on sign of V. For some materials, relation between V and I, that is some materials like conductor. So I'll write, for some materials, relation between I and V depends on sign of V. So this varies, it will not be same. One more limitation. What is the limitation? One more limitation which I can say is, in some materials, relation between the I and V is not unique. There is more than one value for V for same current I. For same current I, there is different many values. Like if we plot the graph for I versus V, so for this point, that is for this value of current, there is, see here, one V is here, another V is here, one more V is here, one more V is here. So for same value of current, we will get many values, many potentials, correct? So what do you say? In some materials, relation between I and V is not unique. For some materials, relation between I and V is not unique. That is, for this graph only I will explain. I, for one current value I, there is 1, 2, 3, 4 values of V. Understood? But here for this I, only one value of V. Understood? So these are the some of the limitations. So what I can say, how can I write limitation? The limitation is, this Ohm's law holds good, say only at the condition. Since that condition is there, it is very difficult without any condition maintained. That is, temperature and other physical conditions should be kept constant. If the temperature and other physical conditions are not maintained, the Ohm's law will not be holds good. So it holds good only for metals at, or it holds good for metals only at, that is better, sorry, it holds good for metals at a moderate, only at a moderate temperature, not at a very high or very low temperature. One more, for semiconductors or any other materials like discharge tubes, then vacuum tubes, etc. Some materials, relation between I and V depends upon the sign of V. After writing this, draw this. Hence, the Ohm's law cannot be hold good. Ohm's law cannot be applied. Ohm's law cannot be applied. For some materials, relation between I and V is not unique. After writing this, draw this diagram. Then, hence, Ohm's law cannot be applied. Here also you have to write the same sentence. Hence, Ohm's law cannot be applied. Okay? So these are some of the limitations of Ohm's law. Very important for 2 marks. Okay? Very important for 2 marks. Next, after this limitation, the material or any device which obeys Ohm's law is called ohmic device. The device which obeys the Ohm's law is called ohmic device, and the device which does not obey the Ohm's law is called non-ohmic device. Ohmic device. Non-ohmic device. So, which one I can call it as ohmic device? Metals at a moderate temperature, I will call it as ohmic device, and the semiconductors I'll call it as non-ohmic device. Understood? So, there are 2 types of devices like ohmic device and non-ohmic device. The device which obeys Ohm's law is called ohmic device, and the device which does not obey the Ohm's law is called non-ohmic device. Understood? Any doubts? Shall I move further? Okay then. Now, after this, I will move towards the concept of resistivity. We said resistivity varies with the temperature, correct? Here there is no derivation. Directly you are going to write one expression or relation, I can say. That expression you are not going to derive it, but you should know that relation, okay? That is expression of the resistivity in terms of temperature. That is, rho T is equal to rho naught into 1 plus alpha into T minus T naught. This is the expression for resistivity or relation between resistivity and the temperature coefficient or temperature. How can we write? Rho T. It is not your rho T. Rho T is equal to rho naught into 1 plus alpha into T minus T naught, where rho T is the resistivity at the temperature T. Rho naught is the resistivity at absolute temperature. 1. Alpha is the coefficient of the temperature, correct? Temperature coefficient of resistance. Temperature coefficient of resistance. T is the temperature and T naught is the temperature at absolute temperature, correct? Now, the next question is alpha. Do we have any relation for alpha? Alpha is equal to, what is alpha? Alpha is nothing but coefficient of temperature of the temperature coefficient of resistance we said, but it is resistivity, okay? Because it is resistivity we are speaking about. I'm sorry. Temperature coefficient of resistivity. So from this, can I write alpha is equal to, what expression I can write? Alpha is equal to rho T minus rho naught divided by rho naught into T minus T naught, correct? Into T minus T naught. See, like this, one derivation you have, one expression you learnt in your first year also about the temperature coefficient. Do you remember? Alpha, a linear temperature coefficient, I mean coefficient of area expansion, coefficient of volume expansion. You learnt one expression the same way. See here, alpha is equal to rho t minus rho naught by rho naught into T2 minus T1. This is the relation between the temperature coefficient of resistivity and temperature. Next, in the same way, you can write for resistance also, that is RT is equal to R naught into 1 plus T my alpha into T minus T naught. Understood? You can write the expression for resistance in the terms of, see this expression is in terms of resistivity, this is in terms of resistance. RT is equal to R naught into 1 plus alpha into T minus T naught, and here also I can write alpha is equal to RT minus R naught divided by R naught into T minus T naught. Understood? This expression directly we are going to write and no derivation for this. So what is the SI unit of coefficient, temperature coefficient of resistivity? Here temperature coefficient of resistance. Okay. What is the SI unit? SI unit is per Kelvin or per degree Celsius. This is the SI unit of the temperature coefficient of resistivity or resistance. Even in that also, in your first year, unit was same, correct? Per degree Celsius or per Kelvin. Am I right? Next, what I want to speak about is how it varies in a graph. Okay? How it varies.